Hey guys, so as I sit here and think about this 30-day group that we've been doing and, confidence and what that means and how to get that, a lot of things have been popping in my mind, specifically in the past couple days. And it's just, when you think about confidence, you think like it has everything to do with, oh, that person is just, flaunting whatever. It has absolutely nothing to do with material things. And this is something I'm just learning this year, which is awesome. Who wants it to do with material things? What it comes down to is confidence is number one, believing in yourself, okay? Number two, just having everything in your life align. And what I mean by that is, being a good person, having integrity, having a passion, a vision, and then aligning all those things. If you're 100% sure in what you're doing, the only example I can use right now is myself because I know how it feels. It wasn't until I decided I was going to make it my life to be a good person, to help other people, and to be real and be myself and not try to impress anyone based on what I think they want me to be. Um, when I started practicing those things, confidence just came because it doesn't matter to me right now what Joe, Schmo, or whoever thinks of me because I'm following my own heart. I know what I think is good. My goals are aligned, my beliefs, everything. So it really doesn't matter what anyone else thinks because I know what I'm doing is right. So I think that's where confidence comes from. I just wanted to talk to you today about something I'm reading. So if you're looking for a good personal development book, this is a good one. It's The Success Principles. And what I wanted to talk to you today is about the chapter I just read because I thought it was very fitting for us. And it's basically about the fundamentals of success, okay? And basically, you have to decide what you want in life. What do you want, okay? Figure that out and then believe that you can achieve it. Because it's crazy to me. The mind is so powerful. And when people say if you believe it, you can achieve it, it's true beyond, just a cliche saying. Your brain is so intense, so developed in ways that we don't even know that it's actually true. If we believe something, it becomes real. Have you ever heard of the placebo effect where people are cured when they were given, a sugar pill or something? That's because your brain believes it and makes it happen. So it really is that simple, having a belief. So a few things I want to talk to you about that I thought stuck out in the chapter that is beneficial to know about, especially when trying to gain confidence. I'm going to go into that now. Early childhood programming often gets in the way of what you want. And here's the thing. Inside of us, when we were little, still, there's this tiny seed of the real you, what you were meant to become. And, over time, unfortunately, that may have been buried in response to other people, your parents, teachers, coaches, other kids, role models, when you were growing up. When you started out as a baby, you knew exactly what you wanted. When you were hungry, if you didn't like something, you spit it out. You had absolutely no trouble expressing your needs and your wants. You simply would cry. There was no holding back, no inhibitions or anything like that. You were fed, changed, and held. And as you got older, you moved toward whatever interested you, right? And you were clear about what you wanted. You would head straight to it with no fear. So what happened? What happened was other people, parents, teachers, siblings, telling you not to do something, stay away from that, keep your hands off, you don't feel that way, stop crying, you should be ashamed of yourself. All those things. As you got older, you hear those things all the time. Teachers telling you, things, everything you can't be, or other kids just saying that you aren't good at something when you really are because maybe they're just jealous. So that sadly has an effect on us as an adult. Our brain remembers those things. So what you do there is actively remind yourself that you're an adult now, you're no longer a child, and that whatever anyone told you in the past, it's not true, okay? Now you're a wise, competent adult, and whatever you want to make happen, you can make that happen. But you got to believe. You have to believe in yourself. You get what you expect. If you expect that you're going to fail, if you expect that you're meant to be nothing, you will be nothing. You will fail. If you expect that you're meant for greatness, you will achieve greatness. Guys, this is Cliff Young, and I'm going to tell you a little story about him because, sometimes it's not what you don't know that holds you back, but it's what you do know that isn't true. People are telling us so many things of what we should be doing and how you do it, and this is the right way. But what do they know, You don't know if that's true or not. So, this is Cliff Young, and the reason I want to tell you a story about him is he was a 61-year-old, scrawny, socially awkward potato farmer back in 1983. And that's when he also entered the Sydney to Melbourne Ultra Marathon. It was considered one of the world's most difficult physical challenges. 544 miles of flats and hills that would take, 6 or 7 days to complete. The runners were allowed to eat and sleep as they chose, and the winner would win $10,000. So, Cliff showed up in his overalls and rain boots. The other runners there, who were much younger and dressed, in the latest Nike, Reebok, and Adidas running gear, they all looked at him and made fun of him first, and then thought, that guy's not competition for us. But Cliff, he knew what he could do. The race officials were actually worried that he might die on the route of a heart attack, but he just assured them that he had grown up on a farm, and when they couldn't afford horses or four-wheel drivers or whatever, he would have to run around for like 2 days straight when a storm was coming to clean everything up on the farm. So they let him run, and the race started. All the other runners took off, at a high speed. They left Cliff in the dust, and everyone probably forgot about him, right? Well, Cliff started at a slow pace, and it actually is a style now known as the Cliff Young Shuffle. And the race officials were still pretty sure that he was going to collapse and die somewhere around on the route. But so Cliff had a secret that no one knew about him, and he didn't even know it about himself. You see, he had never met another long-distance runner before. He had never talked to a coach. He had never read a runner's magazine or a book on long-distance running or anything like that. So therefore, he didn't know that you are supposed to sleep for 6 or 7 hours a night during a long-distance endurance run. So that first night, Cliff slept for only 2 hours. By running while the others slept, he took the lead that first night and maintained it for the remainder of the race. The next day he ran nonstop for 23 hours. He only slept for 1 hour the next day. So running virtually no sleep for the entire race, Cliff crossed the finish line in his overalls and rain boots 10 hours ahead of the next finisher. He had covered 544 miles in 5 days, 15 hours, and 4 minutes. That's the equivalent of almost 4 marathons a day, shattering the previous race record by more than 2 days. So Cliff's story illustrates that, sometimes it isn't what you don't know that stops your success. It's what you do know that isn't true. So it's wise to question all of your assumptions about how things are done and be open to new possibilities. When George Dantzig was a graduate student in mathematics at UC Berkeley, he arrived late for a graduate-level statistics class and found 2 problems written on the blackboard. He assumed they had been assigned for homework, so he wrote them down, not knowing that they had actually been written on the board as 2 examples of famous, unsolvable statistic problems. So, since he thought they were homework, he set out to solve them. He later recounts that the problems seemed a little harder than usual, but a few days after he copied them down, he handed in the completed solutions for the problems, still believing they were part of an assignment that was overdue. He actually said if he had known that the problems were not homework, but were, in fact, two famous problems unsolved, and that he probably wouldn't have thought positively about the situation and not really tried to solve the problems. He would have been discouraged and just threw his hands up in the air and said, yeah, these problems are unsolvable. They're famously unsolvable, so I'm not going to do it. But instead, he did solve them because he thought they were homework. That is the power of the brain right there, and what it can help you to achieve or what it can hold you back from. This story is a really good example of how when you pursue your goals without any limiting beliefs about what you can accomplish, you can create unexpected and extraordinary results. So a common excuse that people have for not going after their goals is that they're too old or it's too late. And I'm here to tell you and give you examples of why it's never too late to become what you might have been. It's all in your head. Got to get rid of that. Lose that excuse. It's one of the most common excuses people use to avoid the risk of going for their dream. You got to stop that. Here are some examples of why it's never too late. Julia Child, one of the most famous chefs in history, didn't even learn to cook until she was almost 40. Her show, The French Chef, didn't launch until she was 51. It became a popular television show that made her a household name. If she had never tried to cook because, she was too old or it was too late, that would have never happened. Susan Boyle was an unknown 48-year-old amateur when, in the spring of 2009, she skyrocketed onto the international stage by belting out I Dreamed a Dream from Les Miserables on Britain's Got Talent. Since then, she's recorded 5 albums, which have sold over 19 million copies, received 2 Grammy nominations, and has an estimated net worth of more than 22 million or 37 million in US. That is crazy, and had she never gone for that because she was too old, that would have never happened. Anna Mary Robertson Moses, better known to the world as Grandma Moses, is one of the biggest names in American folk art, yet she didn't even pick up a brush until she was 76. She painted for another 25 years, which was long enough to allow her to see the canvases she had originally sold for $3 sell for more than $10,000. Today, some of her paintings sell at auction for more than $100,000. Had she never picked up that brush because it was too late, that would never have happened. The point of all this, guys, is that all you have to do is decide. Decide that you're going to be confident. Decide that you're going to achieve your dreams, your goals. Make that decision. Believe it, and then make it happen. It's never too late. It's never too early. The only time it's too late is when you're dead. So you don't want to wait till then, because what's the point? Why are we here in life? To be unhappy and just go through the motions because that's what we're supposed to do? Make the decision to be confident and to go after what it is you want in life. I'll talk to you guys soon.